Welcome to Prizecast, where we talk all things Prize Fest, but today we're going to talk about Film Prize Junior just for a little bit. It's our student film, it's our student film education program and student film festival, and I am joined here with some of my closest companions, John Allen and Katrina Gillum. These are Film Prize Junior teachers. Now, although today we're really going to be talking about Prizecast, something else to highlight is something so quintessential about our foundation, which is the Film Prize Junior program. John, why don't you tell us what Film Prize Junior is actually?
Film Parish Junior is an opportunity for high school and now middle school students as well to begin getting part of the filmmaking process. They get to have the competition. They do all aspects of it, writing the script, shooting it, putting it together, planning it out, and take it from concept all the way to a completed film. And it's just been an opportunity for kids to, take that creative spark and very early begin to turn that into a reality and become filmmakers.
Yeah, all inspired by the Louisiana Film Prize.
Yes.
So, Katrina, you were there from the very beginning. What is it like being a teacher in Film Prize Junior?
It seems like a lifetime. It feels good to see the students' energy. They get excited. It allows them to have their creative juices flowing, the imaginations going on what they want to do. But being a Film Prize Junior teacher, I enjoy it. I really do, kind of standing back, allowing the students to take control. It's good to see them as a director, a writer, a producer, and then they're like actually kind of bossing the other students around.
The confidence is
Yeah,
real.
So their confidence is real, but I love the energy, and it allows them to connect to other students as well throughout the parish with the program.
Yeah, how did your Film Prize Junior story begin? How did you first hear about it?
We received an email asking us to be a part of it. And of course, I'm like, I'm too busy. I do not have time, for this. But somehow we managed to pull it off. We got with the students, we sat down, and I just started like, hey, so we kind of like brainstormed a little bit. What would you all like to do? What are some topics that you would like to address? And so that would be interesting to other students.
Right. It's really amazing how this experience transforms students into, not just these creative beings, but true entrepreneurs where they're creatively competing with one another, telling their stories and really trying to connect with an audience that's beyond their school. John, what is your Film Prize Junior origin story?
When I took a job at Magnet High, my film production class is actually structured around Film Prize Junior. Magnet High was very involved at the beginning. So when I took that job, I was told, oh, and you're going to do this, and it has to do with Film Prize. And so I jumped right in and was like, okay, and began getting that. But I had the advantage of having an entire class structured around making films for Film Prize Junior.
So Katrina, in your group at Booker T. Washington, y'all do a lot of documentaries, but what are the stories that are really clicking with your cohort?
Some of it comes from personal experiences. So, something may have happened in their family.
Yeah.
And they want to put it out there. They're not going to tell you that it's theirs personally, but, they'll come up with the idea, well, what about this? And we tell them they want something new. They want something fresh. They're tired of hearing about teenage pregnancy and this, that, and other. Let's go this route, what have you. And I would love to do other things. I just think a documentary actually can bring it home, can put some information out there that a lot of community people don't know. And it connects everybody. And while we're sitting in that room watching during Film Prize, those films that all the students do, you just never know who's in there can connect and say, wow, this was me. Or wow, I've experienced this. So it just depends.
So powerful.
It is. It has its way of reaching someone in that room.
Absolutely. And it is a relationship that you have as a producer or a maker of film, and also as an audience member to see yourself or to see your situation on the screen is very powerful. In
And
your
I try not to interject as much because I want it to be their story.
Absolutely.
But as adults, it's like, do it this way and
You
do it
have
that way.
to-
But we have to kind of
You've
take
gotta
a step
guide 'em.
back.
Yeah,
We do. We have to
absolutely.
guide them. Yes.
Well, how about you, John? What are the stories like in your classroom?
A lot of my kids are coming in because it is a film class. A lot of them come in. I jokingly always say they all want to be M. Night Shyamalan, but they've only got 8 minutes. They're coming and trying to emulate something, which is great, but they've got to tell the stories that they know. Work with what you have. What are you? You're teenagers. Work on a story that's going to work with teenagers. And it's kind of the same thing because I have kids who want to do a documentary, but I tell them, I think they think it's going to be easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, like, no, it's actually going to be much, much harder because you're telling a real story here, but you still have to tell a story. So, I don't know, getting their ideas and then getting them to work within their limitations, the time limits, budgetary limits, everything like that, and realizing that you're trying to get over here, but I mean, this is, I'm sure that, Orson Welles had similar problems, which is I want to do this, but I only have this much money. So get creative within this area and within these limits. And the best films we've produced have been just simple stories about high school students because that's what they know.
Exactly. It's actually putting your experience or what you're into on film. And what I love about Film Prize Junior is the fact that it takes, I've seen 11-year-olds do it with their friends and, some parental help. But, with these limitations, they are taking their tablets, they are taking, whatever TikTok microphones they can get their hands on and making stories.
And he talked about emulating Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
But and so I had them watch 60 Minutes.
Sure.
And how they do, the documentaries and stuff. And so Taylor got in that hallway and she had her hair going and she had her suit on and she's walking up the hall and I'm like, okay. But yeah, so they get to see all of that.
It's transformative. Like, it's amazing what these small teams are doing. Well, you have a very unique experience, Katrina, where actually both of you guys do. So one of your former students or a Booker T. Washington student has actually won the Louisiana Film Prize. Miss Monique Warren, who is actually a Film Prize Junior teacher in Lafayette, actually won with her film, The Candy Lady.
Yes.
So it was so cool to have that. What was that like for you to see somebody take their skills?
It was mind-blowing. It blew my mind. And I immediately reached out to her through social media. And she responded back, thank you for all you've done. I probably should have posted, what she had sent back. But I was just so grateful that she took something that she had learned at an early age. She's been out of high school probably 20 years. So I know she's going to kill me. But yeah, just to see her work, I thought it was awesome. And then it was the year I actually came to the Film Prize to support it, not knowing that she was even a part of it. So it was a great experience knowing that she took something away from the program and was exposed to the Film Prize.
And just keeps going, I believe that was her second entry into Film Prize.
Okay.
So, to be able to get in the top 20 twice and then to win on the second run is just like kismet.
And I'm quite sure we hadn't seen the last
Of course not. I hope we'll see.
Yeah.
And John, you actually have another unique experience.
Well, I have with Finn Collins,
Yes.
and he's the one who looked at the rules and realized that teenagers could just enter a film prize.
Yeah.
And so he submitted a film and made top 20 for Film Prize, and he is the student who this year won Film Prize Junior.
Indeed.
Wow.
And so, it honestly, it's a little intimidating to have a student come in and you're like, oh, you're a sophomore, but you've already been in Film Prize. And, and they come with a strong background in film, but have already become part of that process and, the competition and really, I don't know, they have so much energy and passion for it, just being part of it and being there. And, to realize Finn is, and so many students that Marcus, who is actually in New York right now, looking at getting into film school, and Seth Logan, who was one of my students 3 years ago. You'll hear those names again.
Yes.
I mean, he'll, I hope to see them coming up into Film Prize. So.
Yeah. Which is coincidentally a wonderful segue to talk about Film Prize and how amazing it is, whether it's a festival, whether you're just coming to see the films. John, what is it like coming down being in Film Prize?
It's a blast. I mean, and I talked about when I was a kid growing up, you watch films like that, but those were things that happened somewhere else. Films were made somewhere else, and they appeared in. You talk about seeing people in the film. You never saw anyone you knew, anything like that. It was just something that happened really far away, and it shows up in the theaters. Going down with Film Prize and seeing the filmmakers themselves and being involved in it and speaking with them and meeting the people and realizing like, oh yeah, no, I know him, and seeing them in the films. It's just, it makes it very real. And I do encourage my students to go to Film Prize just because they're like, go down there, see it, and realize they're not doing anything much different than what you're doing. And I said, and the jump from here to, something you went and saw last weekend in a theater, it's the same process. You're already doing this process. So.
And I have a former student who just graduated. She said, I'm doing the prize next year. I was like, okay, Taylor.
Well, exactly. And we have an amazing network of people in this community. You can actually go to the directory.prizefest.com if you would like to, just promote your skills, whether you are an actor, cinematographer, writer, director. Everybody who comes in to make a Film Prize film in Shreveport-Bossier should look at that because it is where the local talent is, and local talent means that you don't have to bring them in, right? It improves this community, and when I first moved to Shreveport, I was very blessed to be amongst, some filmmakers who actually were in the Film Prize, and so I didn't have like VIP treatment by any means, but I was able to hang out with the people who did. And I was just able to kind of rub elbows with people that I could never, coming from a small town, never believe that I could have this experience so quickly out of, my humble hometown. So what I love about Film Prize is seeing downtown Shreveport transform into this festival central. Like whether you're on the 700 block of Texas Street hanging out near Art Space and Festival Central, you'll actually be part of the party, but it goes all the way down Texas. We have different venues depending on what prize you're going to. But the action is Film Prize. You can start going on Thursday. And John, isn't that how you like to kind of do your prize? How do you?
I block out as much time as I can. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I like to volunteer as well to be part of it, to be part of the nuts and bolts of it, and see behind the scenes, and talk about rubbing elbows and be able to the whole process of this happening, and also to know that you're part of making it happen.
Exactly.
And there's a great feeling about being involved in that. But do they come early, stay late, go in there, talk to the filmmakers, buy some merch, and just I don't know, be part of such a sense of community and event, and play it up, spectacle and everything. It's just a great feeling. It's my favorite time doing anything downtown in Shreveport.
Oh, I know, right? But what's cool about Film Prize is that it's not just in downtown Shreveport. We also have a Bossier location where you can go see films. But the beauty of Film Prize, if you were not aware, is that it, number one, is the largest cash prize for a short narrative film in the entire world. That's $50,000 if you film here in Shreveport-Bossier. It's $25,000 if you film anywhere else in Louisiana, but that's still nothing to scoff at. I mean, that's ideally your budget and hopefully something to get you going on your next big project. We have had more than a handful, I'll say, of Film Prize projects that have actually been transformed into feature films and are starting to make their way around. I mean, it is, to me, inspiring just to be around. How about for you guys?
It is, and I like to see people are coming from everywhere.
So
just
many
to
places,
be a part
of.
Yeah, they're coming from everywhere just to be a part of Film Prize. I'm like, whoa, I met so many people. I'm from here. I'm like, oh, wow, y'all flew in, so that's awesome.
What do you think is the most important thing that Prize does for the community?
I mean, again, going back to what I said before, it lets you know that this thing, this magic thing that you see all over, like, it's happening right here.
It is.
That this is a thing that the people you know that you see around town, they're cinematographers, they're editing, they're doing it. That film isn't, I don't know, again, I can only reflect on what it was like when I was a kid, but film is something that happened far away and it showed up and you watched it. But the idea that you made it, that this is a job, that this is something that you can do, and to meet people who do that. And so I think that's the greatest thing about Film Prize being here, is it makes it a very real thing that occurs right here in our backyard. You see shots in the films, you're like, oh, I've been there. You're like, oh, I know that place. Yeah, and it just makes it more real.
Yeah.
And
it puts Shreveport on the map.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, because it gets better and better, bigger and bigger.
Yeah, either as a participant or as just somebody who comes down. You can get your tickets at prizefest.com. We also have many other prizes that you should attend, but come on down to Prize Fest October 16th through the 18th. We'd love to have you. Get your tickets at prizefest.com. All right, are you ready? Yes, that's it. Hold on. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Viva la Film Prize!